Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In the last lecture, we had discussed about the shear stress distribution in rectangular cross sections. Okay, and we also solved one problem where the beam cross section is I, and we also and we are in that case also we checked the how the shear stress is varied across the cross sections. Okay, now in today's lecture, we'll see how the shear stress distribution shear stress is varying across the beam where it is having circular cross section. Okay, so circular cross section will be like this. The beam is having circular cross section having radius r. Okay. So for this cross section, I need to calculate what will be the my shear stress distribution. Okay, across this beam. So we have derived the formula for calculation of the shear stress, which is tau equals to shear force V into Q over I into B. Okay, where V is a shear force at that cross section. Let us suppose if I'm having this cantilever beam over here, one V force is acting at this point, okay, and I'm making one cut over here, right? So if I enlarge this portion, it will look like this. V force will act in this downward direction. This is my load. To balance this load at this section, the shear force will be acting in upward direction. Okay, and to balance at this balance of the equilibrium of at this joint, one shear force will act in downward direction. Okay, so I'm checking at this cross section. Okay, I'm checking at this cross section. Okay, what will be the shear stress distribution at this cross section? Okay, right. So now the problem lies, what is Q and what is I and what is B over here, and what is V? V is already know the shear force, right? And Q is first moment of area. Q is basically first moment of area. Okay, and I is moment of inertia, and B is the width of the section at which we are calculating the shear stress. Okay, so we need to check the variation of the shear stress. So what I'm doing over here, now you can see that V and I will be a constant. It is a constant term for a particular section. Okay, and Q over B is a variable. Okay, because my tau is depending upon the Q over B. In the tau is directly proportional. You can say that Q over B. Okay. In the rectangular section, we have seen that B is constant. B is constant across the depth. So that B is also we consider B also as a constant. So here tau is directly proportional to Q by B. So tau will be max at that location where Q by B will be max. Okay. So now my first thing, but now I have to calculate the variation of the shear stress. So what I am doing over here, let me draw it again. Okay, if this is a cross section, circular cross section, this will be the neutral axis. Okay, also known as centroidal axis. Okay, so what I'm saying over here is that at a distance of y, now I need to calculate. I'm calculating the shear stress. What will be the vertical shear? What will be the vertical shear, or you can say that a horizontal shear, because the horizontal and vertical shear both are complementary, so both the values are equal. Okay, so what will be the value of shear stress at this point? Okay, that I need to calculate. Okay, I will calculate in terms of y and check how it is varying across the depth. Okay, across the depth. Now if I need to calculate the shear stress at this level, if AA level, what I need to get, I need to calculate the area, first moment of area of this portion. Okay, I need to calculate the width at this portion. Okay, So that is our two variables. Okay. Other than those, my v will be constant and moment of inertia will be constant, and the radius will is r of this beam. Okay. So now at a distance of y, what will first I need to calculate what will be the first moment of area of this thing. Okay. So what will be the q? Q I can write is what? A into y bar. Y bar is what? The centroid of this portion from the neutral axis. This will be my y bar. Okay. Now I need to calculate the area of this complete figure. Okay. So what I am doing over here, at a distance of y, I am taking an elementary strip over here. Okay, at a distance of y, I am taking an elementary strip over here. Ay bar is I can also it can be calculated like this: a, or you can say that y into dA. Okay. Okay, this you can get through the centroidal formula. Okay, how to calculate the centroid? Basically, this thing we get from there only. Okay, so now this elementary strip will have an area dA equals to what? B dash, let us suppose, into what? dy. Okay, dy is this height of this strip. Okay, so now what will be my b over here? B will be basically nothing but B will be, if I apply the trigonometric rule over here, this will be R, this is Y, so B will be is equals to under root R square minus Y square. So the B will be twice of this thing, so B dash is 2 under root R square minus of Y square. Okay, very simple, only simple calculation is there. So now B is decided at this level. dA is what? B into dA is 2 under root R square minus of Y square into dy. Right? Now, if I integrate this thing, y dot dA, which is equal to y into 2 under root R square minus of Y square into dy. Right? So now this thing, this expression is there. Okay, and this term is equals to basically nothing but my first moment of area. So this thing is decided. So this thing we have calculated over here. Now we will integrate. We'll integrate this thing. This is our term y dot 2 under root R square minus of Y square into dy. Okay. So I need to integrate this thing from where? From y to r, because I want to calculate the stress at this level. Okay, I'm not integrating from 0 to r. It should be from y to this point. Okay, this r, because I need to calculate in first moment of area of this portion. Right. So what happens is that now I need to integrate things. So I'm introducing one term over here, which is under root 2 r square minus y square equals to u. Okay, this will make our integration easy. So if I take square of this side, if I'm taking square of both the sides, it will be 4 r square minus of y square equals to u square. Okay, squaring both the sides. So if I differentiate this thing, it will be 4 into this 0. The differentiation of r is constant, it will be 0. So this will be minus 2y dot dy equals to 2u dot du. There shouldn't be any problem, it's a simple integration problem. Okay, so this is cancelling out 2. So my y dy is equals to what u du by 4. Okay, minus y dy equals to minus u do by u into du by 4. Okay, now I will put this value in this expression over here. Okay, so this expression will look like y dot dy is equals to minus u dot du upon 4. Okay, and this term 2 under root r square minus y term is already we know is u. So my expression will be u square into du over my 4y. And what will be the limit of integration? Okay, my limit of integration will be what I have put over here, 2 under root r square minus y square equal to u. Okay, so when y equals to y, okay, when this term, because initially my integration is from y to r, so when y equals to y, so the u, this term will be equal to u. Okay, so in the position of y, what I am writing over here is u. Why? Because at y equals to y, at this level, y is y only. Okay, so this term will remain same. It will be equal to u. So it will be u over here. And what happens when y reaches r? When y reaches r, this term will become 0. Okay. So another way another way I can write this expression like this: 0 to u square du over my 4. Okay, I just remove this negative sign. So my limits are interchanged: 0 to u square du upon my 4. Now I will integrate that thing. So the term will become this u square dot du over 4 will become u cube over my 12 u cube over my 12 integration 0 to u. So it will be u cube over 12. Right? Now what I will do, I will put this value in my this expression. Tau equals to what? V into q over my I into b. Okay, this thing I have, this is what? This is nothing but our first moment of area. First moment of area of this portion. Okay, so so if I put the value in this formula, my v will be same tau. Q is what? U cube over my 12. Okay, and I will be same. I is I only, and b will be b. What will be b? B will be what? B is 2 under root r square minus of y square. This is only my b, which is equals to u. Okay, so it will be u only. Right, so use this term will cancel out each other. This term, this 3, it will become 2 over here. So v into u square over my 12i will be my expression. Right, now again I'll put the value of u and I over here. V, what will be u square? U square is nothing but 4 into r square minus of y square. Okay, and what will be my I? I will be pi by 4 into r की power 4. Moment of inertia about this axis. Okay, moment of inertia about this axis. It is equal nothing but pi by 4 into r की power. This thing you can check. Okay, and u to cancel out into my 12. Okay, so this is the expression. This thing 2, 3 or 12. Okay, so the expression will be 4b r square minus of y square over my pi r 4 into my 3. Or you can say that this formula, or we can modify it in this way: 4 by 3 v r square is taking outside y square over my r square into my 3 into pi r 4. Okay, 3 into so this r square, so it will be 4 over में 3 v 1 minus y square over में r square into में pi r 4 pi r square. Okay. Now you can see that this is similar to our rectangular section. Okay, so tau is what, nothing but 4 by 3 v 1 minus y square over में r square into में pi r square. So our variable is this term only. Okay, 1 minus y square upon में r square. So tau max, where will be the shear stress maximum? That is what we are checking now. Okay, so tau max is nothing, tau is what, 4 by 3 v 1 minus y square over में r square into pi r square. Okay, so if I want to maximize this thing, I need to maximize this term only. Okay, because this term is constant, right? So if I write d tau by del tau by del y, this will be equals to what, 1 minus 2y upon में r square. Okay, if it equals to 0, then what, then okay, if this term need to be 0, then y should be equals to 0. Then again I differentiate, then del tau by del y is equals to negative. So this will be maximum at y equal to 0. So here also I can say that my shear stress will be maximum at the neutral axis. Okay, and what will be the term at the neutral axis will be at tau max will be 4 by 3 v 4 into v 3 into pi r square. Okay, v over pi r square I can write like this. V over pi r square is what, nothing but tau average across the cross section. Okay, so tau max is what, nothing but 4 by 3 of tau average, right? Tau average is what we are calculating on the base that shear force B upon my area. B is the shear force, area is total area, pi r square. Okay, that is tau average. So if sometimes some relation will ask how much tau max is of tau average, so you can write that tau max equals to 4 by 3 times of tau average. Okay, now if I'm taking this, what is meaning by this average term over here is that my tau, if I'm taking this tau average, okay, it means that my at every portion my tau will be this v by pi r square. Okay, but that is not the case. Okay, our actual variation will come from this term only. Okay, so at y equal to r, you can see that our shear stress will be 0. Okay, so the variation will look like this. This is the cross section. The variation will look like this. Okay, so at neutral axis it will be tau max. Okay, and at this portion my tau is equals to 0. Same tau equals to 0. It should be symmetrical. This graph should be symmetrical. This curve should be symmetrical. Okay, so this is the variation of tau. Means what? Now you, and this is what you know, that this is tau average. Okay, this is tau average. It is uniform across the cross section. Okay, this is for simpler calculation we are using tau average. Okay, but at the center portion I am getting the value tau max. So this is basically the variation of the shear stress distribution across the cross section. Now we will see the most important thing. What are the directions over here? Okay, what is horizontal shear stress and what is transverse shear stress? Okay, because this calculation is very easy, but to understand the things, how the shear stress is acting, that is most important. That is the most important thing you need to know, because In built-up section, that is the most important thing. Okay, so at neutral axis, see it carefully. At neutral axis, if this is the curve, and this is a neutral axis. Okay, at neutral axis, my shear stress distribution will look like this. This is nothing but vertical shear. Okay, I already discussed the actual variation will be different. Actual variation will be different, but I'm assuming it is constant across the width. This is the assumption which we are making. Across the width of the section, the shear stress is assumed to be constant, but it is not the case. It depends upon the B by breadth and depth, B by depth ratio. Okay, so at this level, at this portion, at this vertical portion, this is neutral axis. This will be tau max. This is nothing but vertical shear. You can say vertical shear. Okay. Now, complementary of this, if I draw in 3D view. Okay. So, in 3D view, now this is the tau max at vertical cross section. Okay, at vertical section. Now, what will be at horizontal portion? At horizontal section, at this horizontal section. This is okay. At this cross section, at this horizontal section, I am getting the shear stress will look like this. Okay, these both values are same. Okay, so this is both are complementary to each other. Both the stresses are complementary. Okay, both complementary to each other. Both the stresses are complementary to each other. Okay. So now you can see that what this is acting like this. If this is the vertical portion, and this will be the horizontal portion. Okay, this is the vertical portion. Shear stress will act like this in this direction, and at the horizontal portion, it will act like this. So both are complementary to each other, complementary stresses. Okay, this is due to the variation in bending moment, and the complementary of which will be result in vertical shear, which we have already studied. Okay, so this is the shear stress distribution at this vertical cross section. Okay, this figure is looking like this. Okay, this is the vertical shear. This is a circular cross section. Imagine this is a circular cross section, and this is in the plane. Okay, in the plane to the board, like in this direction, right? Now, now we'll see an important thing over here. And what is that important thing? Let's see. I don't need this figure now. Okay, so if this is my cross section over here, this rectangular cross section of the beam. Okay, and this is the neutral axis. Remember one thing, that first moment of area will be maximum at neutral axis. Okay, neutral axis. So at the neutral axis, I know that my shear stress distribution will be looking like this. Okay, all the stresses are in vertical direction. Okay, now what happened is that through this formula, V into Q over A I into B. Okay, at this level also, if I'm calculating the shear stress, it will be again look like this. it will again look like this. Okay, but this is not the case. But this is not the case. If we look carefully, at this level, if we look carefully at this level, the element will be, if I cut the element over here, if I cut this element over here, it will look like this. If I cut this element over here, and if I cut the element over here at this point, it's okay. If I cut this element over here, it is looking like this, okay, and it will be in vertical direction. Okay, the outer surface of it, the outer surface which I am talking over here, yani this surface, this outer surface, if you imagine this is a cross section, okay, this is a cross section I am taking at this, like this, okay. Now you can see that at this outer surface, there won't be any shear stresses. There won't be any shear stress at this outer surface. Okay, if this is the part of this beam at the outer surface, I won't be getting any. At the outer surface, I'm not getting any shear stress. Why? Because this is the outer boundary. Okay, the shear stress tau equals to 0 over here. Okay, so at this point, my tau will be 0 at this point, right? Tau will be 0 at this point. Okay, now complementary of which will also be 0 at this point due to complementary concept. This tau will, this is looking like this, okay? This tau is 0. This tau is 0. Complementary of which will be also be 0. Will be also be 0. Okay? Okay. Now, the complementary of which also be 0. Okay. As per this figure, as per this formula, my stress should act in this direction. As per this formula, if I draw this figure over here, this look like this, it will look like this. Okay. As per this figure, my resultant stress, this resultant stress will act in downward direction. Okay, will act in downward direction. Okay, and the stress in this direction will look like this. Okay, because the resultant of this will represent this figure. Okay, but this thing is 0. This thing is 0. This tau is 0. This tau dash is equals to 0. Okay, now we have this. Now we will have having this tau only. Okay, this resultant will along this axis only, because this force, this shear stress is 0. Why 0? Because at outer boundary the tau is 0, the complementary of which also be 0. Okay, but we'll have some shear force in this direction. Okay, and this element, suppose this is my element, if one shear stress is acting in tau dash, other shear stress will act in its perpendicular direction. Okay, so this is complete perpendicular, and this is the resultant which I showed over here. Okay, which direction will be same, but this thing is 0, so our net force will act in this direction. So our actual shear stress distribution at this point will be at this point will be little bit inclination. Okay, which will be perpendicular at the center. Okay, so at this point I will having the stresses at little bit inclined. Okay, why inclined we have already discussed. Okay, so this is the case. This is the assumption which we are making. At the neutral axis, this thing is okay, but at this axis, the directions are a little bit different. So this formula, there is some this formula can't hold, is not giving the actual results over here. Okay, so this is the thing which I want to teach you. This is also one assumption which is made in this formula. Okay, once again we can see that over here, if this is the element over here. Okay, this shear stress is 0. Why 0? Because outer boundary will have 0 shear stress. The complementary of this also be 0. Okay. Now, if the complementary is 0, and this is the shear, and only this shear if the complementary is 0, at this portion I'll be having some shear force. Okay, the complementary of which will be having some shear force, the perpendicular of this. So if this is 0, then the resultant will also act in this direction only. Okay, so this is why at this point I'll having some stresses will incline, little bit inclined. Okay, so this thing I want to tell you. I hope this thing is clear to you how the shear stress is varying across the circular cross section. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding this, you can write in the comment section. Okay, in the next lecture we'll solve one problem. Okay, thank you guys.